Well, I'm Kelly Beeson in today for Nichole, Berlie. We're glad you're here. We begin this hour with a live look outside of the Supreme Court, where protesters have been gathered for hours. The question at hand, whether the federal government was wrong to allegedly pressure social media sites to take down posts that question the safety and efficacy of COVID vaccines. The Missouri and Louisiana attorneys general argue the government overreached and violated free speech in what they call the modern public square. But the Biden administration disagrees, saying they were fighting disinformation and never threatened the companies if their requests for some posts were to be removed were denied. News Nation's Joe Khalil has been tuning into this case all day and joins us now with the very latest. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Kelly. So, look, this is a case a lot of people care about because social media is something we use every day. And ultimately, it's about the dialogue between the government and these social media platforms. Oftentimes, this happens where the government is talking to them, asking them, suggesting to them that certain posts, certain things on their sites be taken down or removed for a number of reasons, whether it's safety, public harm, what have you. The question before the court today is, where is the line? When does it become illegal? Coercing these platforms to take things down rather than suggesting or trying to persuade them. And the people bringing the case forth today, the attorneys general of Louisiana and Missouri, they argue that back in 2021, the Biden administration crossed that line when they asked platforms to take down posts about COVID vaccines that the administration thought were misinformation, or posts about the 2020 election that the Biden team thought were conspiracy theories. So there was a lot of interesting back and forth today in the courtroom. I want to play you one example from conservative Justice Gorsuch when he was going back and forth with the government's attorneys today about a specific moment when President Biden said that he thought these social media outlets were, quote, killing people with some of these misinformation posts. Here's that exchange.
How about saying you were killing people? Could that be coercion in some circumstances, that if you don't change your moderation policies, you're responsible for killing people?
So I think that one is much harder. That's a statement that President Biden made off the cuff. He said, I'm not looking to hold anyone accountable. I just want everyone to look in their mirror and imagine what would happen if this misinformation was going to their loved ones.
Now, despite that specific back and forth there, it did seem like the attorneys that were representing Missouri and Louisiana, they had a harder time convincing even some of the conservative justices that what was going on back in 2021 was illegal, improper, and coercion, simply because the justices were throwing back at them a whole range of hypotheticals where they felt it might be appropriate for the government to try to do these kinds of things. For example, if there is a terrorist organization or the governments of China and Russia intentionally trying to mislead Americans by social media posts, which we know happens. Is it appropriate for the government to ask social media companies to take those posts down? Ketanji Brown Jackson brought up another hypothetical of what happens if there is a teenage challenge, where we've seen these kinds of things, where teens are posting videos where they're jumping from second story or third story windows, and there are others doing it that are actually causing harm or in some cases even dying. So those kinds of hypotheticals they put forward, and it's a lot harder and murkier than to question whether the government has a role in stepping in and asking these platforms to take these posts down. So a lot of ramifications that will come from whatever these justices ultimately decide. But certainly an interesting conversation, one that I think a lot of people are paying close attention to, Kelly.
Yeah, one that has implications really for us all. Joe Khalil live in Washington. Joe, thank you for that breakdown.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.